In this video, we're going to have a look at functional notation and the types of questions that we can expect at National 5 level. Okay, we're just going to build this up just slowly here, or quite quickly actually. We're going to look at the idea of a basic function machine that you might have seen when you were in primary school. The idea that you can put a number into this machine and you'd get a number out. For example, if we were to put 10 into this machine, we would times that by 3, which is 30, and subtract 4 and get 26. Or if we put another number in, if we put 2 in, we would times that by 3 and get 6, and take away 4, and that would give 2 back out. But functional notation is a way that we can represent this for any value. So let's imagine I put in any value, and I'm going to represent that as x. Well, what would come out? If I were to put x in, if I multiply it by 3, that would be 3x, and then I need to subtract 4 from that. So if I put that in, what would come out is 3x minus 4. Okay, notice that worked there, because see when x was 10. When x was 10, we got 26 out. And when x was 2, we got 3 times 2, take away 4 out. Okay, so how we can express functional notation is the following. For this function, we represent it as f of x is equal to 3x minus 4, where x is the value that we put into our function. So for that first example, we put 10 into the function, and what did we get out? Well, we got 3 lots of 10, take away 4, so that's 26. Okay, so what happened here is the value of x is what is input into your function. So here we've replaced x with 10, so anywhere in our calculation we would replace x with 10. That's the basic idea here. Let's have a look here. This time the order's been shifted a little bit, and you'll see what happens to the answers hopefully. So let's put 10 in. We're going to subtract 4, that's 6, and we're going to times that by 3. So this time, similar looking function, but it returns a different value. Let's have a look what happens when I put in 2. 2 take away 4 is minus 2 times 3, minus 6. What happens when we put in any value, x? Well, I'm going to take away 4, so it's going to be x take away 4, and then I'm going to multiply that value by 3. So this is the function that generally what happens. That's how we work out what is going on here. If I put in any value of x, I'm going to use this formula to work out what my output is. So here I would say f of x is equal to 3 lots of x minus 4. And once again, we can verify that works, because when we put in 10 into our function, so I replaced x with 10, I replaced x with 10. And that gave me 3 lots of 6, which was 18, which is what we got when we just worked with the numbers as well. So we're going to be working with notation such as this here, written in functional notation. Okay, so we're just going to go straight in and have a look at some exam questions, or exam style questions. Given that f of x is 2 minus 3x squared, evaluate f of minus 4. So what we're going to do is, hopefully you can identify here that into this machine we've put in minus 4. That means that wherever we see an x, a bit smaller, wherever we see an x, we put a minus 4. That's going to be 2 times 3 bracket minus 4 squared. Hopefully you can see how I've substituted minus 4 in place of x. Okay, we're going to square this bracket. 2 minus 3 minus 4 squared is positive 16. Minus times minus is plus. So then we're going to do 2 take away 3 lots of 16. That's 48. And that's going to give me negative 46. Okay, you could expect to see a question like that in a paper 1 of National 5. Example 2. Given that g of x is x cubed minus 1 over x, evaluate g of 2. Okay, so this time I'm going to put 2 into my machine. So instead of x, I have 2. So it's 2 cubed minus 1 over 2. Wherever I see an x, I've replaced it with a 2. I usually put that in a bracket. 2 cubed is 8. 2 times 2 times 2. I'm doing 8 minus a half. 8 minus a half is 7 and a half. Okay, let's have a look here. Sometimes the questions can have a twist. A function is defined as f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 7. Given that f of x is 105, obtain the possible values of x. What I want you to notice here is that the question does not ask you to work this out. At no point do you see that. Okay, this does not imply f of 105. The mistake that people make is that they substitute 105 in place of this. Let's just rewrite this, what we've got. We're told that f of x is 2x squared plus 7. We're told that f of x is 105. What we want to do is we want to work out for what values of x, what value of x that when I substitute it in, I get the answer of 105. Right, so for example, if I put 10 in, that'll be 2 times 10 squared plus 7. That's 2 times 100 plus 7. That's 207. So the answer is not 10. So we need to have an approach that will allow us to work out the value or values in this case. One wee thing you'll often see in National 5 is this guy here. Sometimes you'll see this letter put in bold, that S. See if it says obtain the possible values, you're probably expecting more than one answer. Okay, so what have we got here? We're told that if the function is 2x squared plus 7, and we want to work out when is the answer 105. So in order to solve this, we're going to create an equation where we've got 2x squared plus 7 is equal to 105. And we're going to be able to solve this from here. Okay, we'll subtract 7 from both sides. We'll divide both sides by 2. And we'll take the square root. Square root of 49 is 7. However, the question said values. So I'm expecting more than one answer. So we need to recall here that the square root can have 2 answers. In this case, it's plus or minus 7. Because minus 7 times minus 7 is 49. And 7 times 7 is 49. So I've got 2 answers here. I've got both plus 7 and minus 7. So what we've done there is we are implying that when we put 7 in place of x, we should get 105 out. So if we go up to our function here, and if we work out f of 7, 2 times 7 squared plus 7, that's 2 49s, plus 7, that's 98 plus 7, that is 105. I've solved what I wanted to solve. You would get the same answer if we put in minus 7 as well, if you wanted to check. Okay, so we've verified what we're looking for. Okay, so in National 5, you can get asked essentially to do one of two things. You can get asked to evaluate a certain number, so you put 10 in, or you might get told what the answer is. So in that case, in this case, you would sub 10 in. When you're told what f of x is, you would solve the equation. Okay, so that's functional notation. Hopefully that was helpful. Some quite gettable marks at National 5 level. Thanks very much.